The Iron Man, a narrative of Joseph Stalin's life. In the humble town of Gori, Georgia, nestled within the vast Russian Empire, Joseph Vissarionovich Jugashvili was born on a cold December day in 1878. He was the only surviving child of a poor cobbler and a devoutly religious seamstress. His mother dreamed of him becoming a priest, a beacon of hope amidst their hardship. But the young boy's life would take a much darker path, shaping the world in ways she could never have imagined. The makings of a revolutionary young Joseph was a diligent student, his sharp mind catching the attention of his teachers at the seminary school he attended. Yet, beneath the surface of his theological studies, a storm brewed. Inspired by Marxist texts and the oppressive reality of Tsarist rule, Joseph abandoned his religious path and joined the underground socialist movement. By 1901, the man who would become known as Stalin, the Man of Steel, was a committed revolutionary. Stalin's early years as a Bolshevik were marked by arrests, exiles, and daring escapes. His ability to navigate the treacherous world of revolutionary politics earned him the trust of Vladimir Lenin, leader of the Bolsheviks. By the time of the 1917 October Revolution, Stalin was a trusted ally, wielding influence behind the scenes as Lenin's Bolsheviks seized power. Consolidating power, Lenin's death in 1924 set off a fierce battle for control of the Communist Party. Stalin, now General Secretary, maneuvered with cold precision, outflanking rivals like Leon Trotsky. By 1928, Stalin had consolidated power, emerging as the unchallenged leader of the Soviet Union. His rule ushered in sweeping changes. Determined to transform the USSR into an industrial powerhouse, Stalin launched the five-year plans. Factories rose and production soared, but the cost was devastating. Peasants were forced into collective farms, resulting in famines that claimed millions of lives, including the infamous Holodomor in Ukraine. The people suffered, but Stalin pressed on, convinced that sacrifice was the price of progress. The Great Terror. Stalin's paranoia grew as he tightened his grip on power. In the late 1930s, he orchestrated the Great Purge, a campaign of political repression that eliminated perceived threats within the Communist Party, the military, and society at large. Trials were held, confessions coerced, and millions were executed or sent to labor camps. The air in Moscow was thick with fear. No one was safe from Stalin's reach. World War II, the defender of the motherland. As the world plunged into war, Stalin initially sought peace with Nazi Germany, signing the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact in 1939. But in 1941, Hitler broke the pact and invaded the Soviet Union. The invasion caught Stalin off guard, plunging the nation into chaos. However, Stalin rallied the Red Army, transforming the USSR into a fortress. The Battle of Stalingrad, a grueling struggle for survival, became a symbol of Soviet resilience. Stalin's leadership, though often ruthless, helped turn the tide against the Nazis. By 1945, the Soviet Union had emerged victorious, its flag raised triumphantly over the ruins of Berlin. Cold War and final years. In the post-war years, Stalin's focus shifted to consolidating Soviet influence in Eastern Europe, laying the groundwork for the Cold War. Under his rule, the USSR became a superpower, locked in a tense ideological struggle with the United States. Yet, within the Soviet Union, his policies continued to extract a heavy toll on the population. On March 5, 1953, Stalin's iron grip finally slackened. He died of a stroke, leaving behind a legacy as one of history's most complex figures. Some viewed him as a hero who industrialized the Soviet Union and defeated fascism. Others saw him as a tyrant whose policies caused untold suffering. Reflections on Stalin's legacy. Stalin's life was a paradox of power and paranoia, progress and destruction. His actions shaped the 20th century, carving deep scars into the fabric of history. As the world continues to grapple with the lessons of his reign, Stalin remains a towering, enigmatic figure, simultaneously revered and reviled.